Hi, I'm Paul Matalucci. I'm president of WordWrite Communications.
I'm Shane McLaughlin. I run communications for Walmart e-commerce. My experience with Networking 9 is it's a chance to get together with people who do what I do and talk and share stories and kvetch and figure out better ways to communicate to mass audiences.
There was an interesting mix. We had some people from, in tonight's group, we had people who were from nonprofit work, people from public relations. We had people who were from corporations, large and small. So we had some that were individual consultants. So there was a nice mix of point of view, and that sort of added to the richness of the discussion.
I loved it. I think the fact that we had independent folks, PR folks, business folks, nonprofit folks, and that lady who was a writer, Linda, I'm looking at her nameplate, that's how I remember. Really interesting conversation, lots of perspective, different ideas, and even people from areas that you think you can't benefit from will bring like an interesting take on something and make you think about things, because it's very easy in what we do, what I do especially, to kind of get caught up in the silo of where I am. And to remember, hey, there are all kinds of different approaches out there, and that's where it's valuable.
The idea of the Nimble Communicator for me was about how is it that as a communicator I recharge myself and feel excited about the work we do. So being nimble to me is a strategy for staying interested in our profession and learning something that's new. That keeps me engaged. So that was my original take on it. What I heard tonight, which was different from that but still interesting, was the idea that being a nimble communicator also means that you're better at your job, that your output is actually better, and that the work you do is better because you know more things. So it was great to hear the discussion and see that there was that whole other side to it.
I think the Nimble Communicator is the communicator who goes to yoga frequently and is able to, see, look at that, I cracked, so there we go. You gotta be nimble. You're gonna edit that out. No, put that on YouTube, it was funny. No, I think the Nimble Communicator really means that these days you have to be more adaptable than ever. Like, you have to understand that there are so many different channels, many different ways to interact with people and connect, that if you can't stay up and understand what you can leverage well, you can get overwhelmed by everything. And the opportunity for us is to kind of sort through everything and figure out what's most effective for us and maximize it. You know, we talked about social, we talked about traditional channels, people talked about newsletters, and in the end, I think the point was made that the conversations you have face-to-face are the most powerful things you can do. So, you know, it's interesting to be working in this profession and to see all of the different ways it's evolving, but ultimately the simple fundamentals, I think, still come through.
So I benefited from being a part of Networking 9 before. I can say that they have been uniformly excellent. The discussions are all different. So in a sense, no two Networking 9 events are the same. But the caliber of discussion and the caliber of people who come is uniformly high. And partly because of the size of the group, because there are 9 people, everybody has a chance to contribute. And you as a participant have a chance to look around the table and understand a little bit about the world that everybody's coming from. And you leave with this really much deeper perspective than you would, for example, at a typical networking event where you might talk to somebody for 30 seconds and then move on. So this is a much more in-depth opportunity to get to know people better and to learn about each person in more detail.
I would say the 3 words I would use: a great insight from people overall, great stories, really broadened my perspective. It showed me different opinions, backgrounds, and industries, and fun, because swapping stories is really a lot of fun. It's fun to engage people and see how they think.
So the 3 words that I would use to describe Networking 9 are insightful, inspiring, and recharging, which I guess is all pretty much the same thing, but it's like getting a shot of adrenaline because you hear your fellow communicators talking about things that matter to you, and I just found it very energizing